Have you ever found yourself drawn to a person who seemed really charming and captivating, only to realize later that they didn't actually have your best interest at heart? Well, today we are diving into another topic about narcissism, but specifically how some narcs actually manage to hook us without the flashy, over the top, mushy love bombing that we often hear about. We will uncover the tactics that they use to ensnare our hearts and our minds. So get ready to explore the hidden dynamics that are at play here and actually learn how to recognize certain signs of love bombing before it's too late. Number 1, subtle charm. Many narcissists have a knack for just being charming and charismatic, but in more understated ways. They might use things like humor, confidence, or an engaging conversation style to draw people in without having to be overly affectionate or romantic. Number 2, selective attention. This has the narc focusing on their target person. This works well in scenarios like the workplace and other things like gatherings and events. The narcissist will hyper-focus on one person, giving them their undivided attention. And this can be in a completely platonic kind of setting. But what it does is it creates a sense of importance and validation that can have people completely hooked without love bombing or even acting romantically interested, just focusing all of their attention on one person. Number 3, mirroring. It's extremely common for a narcissist to mirror the interests, hobbies, and values of people or a person that they're trying to attract and pull in. And this makes people feel very understood and very connected to the narcissist. It can also psychologically trick people into feeling like they've known this person for a lot longer than they actually have. Because what's kind of happening when someone is copycatting you or mirroring you, however you want to say it, is you're kind of looking back at yourself and there's literally nobody that you're more comfortable or familiar with than you. And again, it's a trick, and you'll think that you've known this person a really long time. You lower your guard, and you could get sucked in by love bombing. Number 4, inconsistent behavior. This is code for, I think, what a lot of people would just call playing hard to get. The narc will jump back and forth between being really warm, inviting, open, and engaging, to distant, just slightly this side of cold, and uninterested, because it creates what we call the trauma bond. The push-pull dynamic is right up a narc's alley for manipulation, because this behavior creates friction, mystery, and is very enticing to some people. It keeps people on their toes, always guessing, and thus an interest begins to form, and a person can actually start to try to gain the affection and attention of the narcissist. Dealing with narcissistic abuse can be incredibly challenging, and traditional therapy actually works for a lot less people than I think we realize. And that's why I offer a flexible phone chat service tailored to fit your lifestyle. You can connect with someone who genuinely understands what you're going through, because I've gone through it myself. My service is relaxed and affordable, and most importantly, it creates a very supportive environment that feels more like a conversation between two friends than a formal, very cold therapy session. We can share experiences as fellow survivors, and I also provide practical tips that are designed specifically for each person that I talk to. With a highly empathetic approach, I can validate your experience and also be the listening ear that every survivor needs. If you have any questions or you want to learn more, don't hesitate to reach out. All the ways to get in touch with me are on the screen for you now. I am a phone call away and ready to support you on your path to healing. Number 5, drama and crisis. The narcissist might play the victim instead of going a more traditional romantic route when it comes to love bombing. They can introduce an issue or just maybe a sense of urgency, and this can have people feeling good about themselves. They feel needed. They can rush in to be the savior, the fixer, and the protector. Bonds from shared experiences might also begin to form, Even if the common bond is a very negative bond, a person might still feel connected to the narcissist without anything really romantic happening. In fact, a lot of this can be done while actually centered around a person that a narc does have a romantic relationship with. A really common example is their need to get away from their toxic, awful ex. And here's this new person to be the savior, the fixer. Number 6, flattery and compliments. It won't be over the top romantic or mushy, but real genuine sounding compliments can completely disarm somebody and cause someone to lower their guard and be sucked in just because the narc is being kind and seemingly compassionate. This also pulls in people who have low self-esteem and just enjoy hearing nice things about themselves, and maybe some people who don't have a large social circle. Number 7, appearing vulnerable. Now, narcs don't actually like being open and vulnerable in a relationship, but this is a tactic that they play and can play often in place of love bombing to hook people in. They might share personal struggles or insecurities in order to get empathy and sympathy and build intimacy that way. Intimacy, another thing they're scared of, but in all honesty, the things they share might not even be true. It's kind of hard to tell sometimes, but the point is building this false narrative and the false image that the narcissist has set in order to pull people in. Number 8, boundary pushing. Narcissists will find your boundaries very quick and push those limits as soon as they find out what they are. That's what these people do, really. That's par for the course. Part of love bombing or the initial idealization phase is to see how far they can get you to go. If the narc can get you to gradually lower your standards, your boundaries, your expectations, believe it or not, it can actually create a sense of closeness without a need for romantic gestures. The narcs also use this to their advantage if maybe they know that you have feelings for them. It's an angle that they're going to work without romance if they can get away with it. It's important to know that not all narcissists love bomb in the romantic, mushy, feely kind of sense of it all, really. It's important to take forward with us this kind of information as we move forward, because there are really subtle signs that someone is trying to pull you in, that someone finds you useful. Covert narcissists really don't even do the whole romantic grand gesture thing, for example, anyway. Some narcs don't choose the more traditional kind of love bombing. They prefer a much more just casual way to do things. Similarly, there are narcissists who see love bombing for the fakeness that it really is. And understanding that and understanding how fake it is, they just simply take a more casual and more subtle approach. Understanding these differences can help us to be protected from narcs and the manipulation that they like to use. Thank you so much for listening. Have a great day, survivor, and take care of yourself.